We all want to transform the client-advisor experience for our organizations in the most meaningful way across the organization that we possibly can, as fast as we can possibly do it. But the problem is that this is incredibly difficult to do. You might take on an 18-month business process management transformation project, or you might try to narrow the problem down so that all you're doing is dealing with a point solution, maybe just an online portal or one type of onboarding that you want to do with your client. The problem is that none of these are really great solutions because ultimately you're not satisfying everyone in your client base or your organization, and you're really not bringing enough value to the org. At Agreement Express, we unite advisors, clients, back office teams, compliance, the whole 9 yards, in one platform that allows transformation now in just 2 weeks. Now, this is a major transformation for us. So today, we are going to be presenting our newest version of Agreement Express, Mountain View 2. We satisfy organizations like Scotiabank, Questrade, M&T Bank, and today with Mountain View 2, we're doing it faster than ever. So let's show you how it works. So today with me is Andrew. Andrew is he's an advisor with your firm. Andrew's going to start off by looking at his workspace to see what he has to do today, and he's beginning with his client, Barbara. He met with Barbara yesterday, and all that Barbara did is she completed her new account opening package for her new individual account. Andrew simply needs to review the account, ensure that it's correct, apply his own signature, and then automatically Agreement Express will forward that on to compliance for their review. Andrew won't want that cluttering his workspace because he's done with it now. So what Andrew's going to do is he's going to snooze this for now. In fact, he'll snooze it until compliance has done their work. He'll be automatically notified by it returning back to his workspace, and then he can tell Barbara where things are at. Next up, Andrew was contacted by his client, Elisa. A couple of years ago, Elisa opened up an educational savings plan for her daughter. Now that her son Max has come along, she's decided that she wants to open up a plan for him. Andrew simply searches for Elisa, but when he gets to her client card, he can see that her KYC is out of date. See, Agreement Express they set a rule inside of it saying that any KYC that's over 300 days old needs to be updated. Andrew doesn't want to have to go back to the client more than once, so he simply selects that he wants to do both the KYC update and the new education plan. By selecting the prior transactions done with Elisa, Agreement Express will automatically pre-populate with all of the prior information used in the prior transactions. So both Andrew and Elisa have very little work to do. It's the kind of interaction that your clients actually want to have with your institution. So you don't answer that question, I thought we did business with you for forever. How come you're treating me like I'm new? How come it's like I've never worked with you before? Agreement Express takes care of that for you by automatically clearing that through. And now that one is done. Next up, Andrew's having dinner tonight with a high net worth client that he wants to have participate in some private placements that are being sponsored by their corporate finance group. Andrew wants to select, all he does is select the 2 private placements that he'd like him to participate in, and he's going to get the paperwork organized. He's even going to send it to the client in advance, but when he's going to meet with them over dinner. And at dinner tonight, he'll go through and determine whether he's interested in these placements, and whether he wants to continue with it. And if he does, he'll just sign on Andrew's iPad. Or the client will have taken care of it himself. And now that's done. Andrew, by the way, can snooze that if he wants as well. Next up for Andrew, he finds a transaction that he's surprised to see is returned to his workspace. Compliance was looking through the transactions, approving an account that he'd opened up just yesterday. And they found that the driver's license isn't expired yet, but soon will be expiring. Compliance rewound the transaction, a unique feature to Agreement Express. They rewound the transaction back to Andrew and to the client with an indication of what was the error that was made and what correction needs to be made. Andrew now simply forwards this on to his client, and his client will use his smartphone to attach a new driver's license, and compliance will be able to approve because in real time, they'll receive notification along with Andrew. And now that one's done. Last but not least for Andrew, he has a new client who's transferring his account over to him. Now, typical, you'd see in an organization, his client has actually provided him a scanned PDF that he hand wrote with the information of the transfer documents. Now, we don't want to lose track of these because this is how business really happens. This is what really goes on. People really work this way. Andrew simply drags it onto his workspace, applies his own signature to it, and he'll forward that off to the relinquishing institution so that he no longer has to worry about having that sitting out there. Even something that was sent in simplest paper, Agreement Express is managed. Andrew will now snooze that item as well, so that he doesn't have to look at it for another week or however long it's going to take for them to complete the transfer. Andrew has just completed 5 transactions for his organization in a fraction of the time that it takes the average advisor, client, compliance, and back office to handle manually. Agreement Express not only took care of all of the filling in of the data and the completion and the processing, it also captured every single event within the transaction so that compliance can review it after the fact and determine what was the sequence of events, what actually occurred. Agreement Express also doesn't work just for one person. It actually works across the organization. So for Andrew, within his workspace, he can see his teams that he belongs to, and the system is automatically creating cards for clients as well as for the users of the system to indicate what activity those individuals have been up against and what they've been doing every day. With Agreement Express, we're transforming onboarding because we've recognized that one of the things that makes onboarding so difficult is there's so many exceptions. These projects take 18 months. They take so long to do because they don't handle exceptions well. With Agreement Express Mountain View 2, we've made it so easy for the system to actually transform the organization that your organization can put that in place in just a couple of weeks, no matter how big the organization is. My name's Mike. This is Andrew. And I hope that you join us later on today and see us over in the demo hall. Thank you very much.